Hi Stitchy friends, welcome back to my Flosstube channel. My name is Phoebe and welcome to another Flosstube from me. Basically what that means is in this video I'm going to be sharing with you all of the things that I have stitched on in the last 2 weeks. So if you're new to Flosstube, this is an area of YouTube where people talk mainly about cross stitch as a hobby, as a project, as an interest, passion, what have you. Sometimes on Flosstube you'll find people sharing their knitting projects, their crochet, their embroidery, needlepoint, punch needle, but on my channel we basically just talk about cross stitch. I do also enjoy crochet, I just haven't picked out a crochet project in a while. Maybe when it's not summer heat anymore I will feel like pulling out some crochet projects. I do have some great yarn that I'm excited to stitch with. Anyway, you haven't seen a Flosstube update from me in 2 weeks. Behind me you will see all the projects that I talked about in my last video, and I have all new stuff to talk to you about in this video. So today we're going to be looking at my new start, my works in progress. I actually have 2 new starts. My works in progress, which means things that I've been stitching on that aren't finishes. I don't have any finishes for you this time. I had a lot last video, but not this time. I'm also going to share with you haul. So I recently had my 40th birthday on the 7th, and so I did do a little bit of shopping for my birthday, and so I have that to share with you as well. Then I'm going to talk with you about plans, so basically what am I going to be doing in the next 2 weeks. And then that's going to be it for today. So grab your favorite stitching project, or maybe you're doing the laundry or something. I love to listen to / watch Flosstube while I am working, getting things done, but it's so delightful to have it on while I'm stitching as well. I actually haven't been watching a lot of Flosstube in the last couple weeks because I've been reading I've been doing a reread of the Red Rising book series with my friend Lehi, and just fully submerged in that. We've just been zooming through those books. We're on book 5 out of 7 right now, and actually there's only 6 released, so but it will be a 7-book saga. If you like books and you also like Red Rising, let me know in the comments below. So anyway, I've been mostly listening to that, but I have caught some Flosstube. Anyway, like I said, I've had 2 starts since my last video. So I shared with you guys 3 projects. Oh, I forgot to tell you, in the table of contents we'll also be having another giveaway in this video. So I will announce the winner of last week's giveaway. So I showed you guys 3 projects last week. We had Hildeboo and Sunflowers 2 from With a Needle and Thread. We had Jane Fiddes from Hands Across the Sea. And we had My Favorite Apron from Barbara Anna Designs. And the one that I decided to start out of those 3 was Jane Fiddes. If I'm saying that incorrectly, I apologize. So I'm really excited to share this with you. This is a super rainbowy kind of project, which is really fun to stitch on sometimes. At times, these kinds of projects that just have like the full spectrum of the rainbow can be a little tiring on the eyes, but it's really enjoyable to pull different kinds of projects out. That's why I like to have a lot of WIPS, so I can stitch on what I'm feeling. So anyway, what a fun project. There are a lot of specialty stitches in this project. Or is it my other new start that one has a lot of specialty stitches? I think this one's going to as well. I haven't got to the Algerian islets, I think is what's coming up in one of the whole alphabets is Algerian islets. Anyway, the reason I wanted to start this project so badly, I'd seen it on so many Flosstubes, but then everyone started showing their tea towels that Hands Across the Sea had made up using this design, and they were just drop dead gorgeous. So I was like, oh, okay, I really need to stitch that. So anyway, I had so much fun starting this. I think I stitched on it for maybe 2 days or so. So I am going to share with you that start. I'm also going to share with you my birthday start. So on my birthday I started another Jeannette Douglas pattern. It's called Vintage Stitches. So last year for my birthday I completely kitted up at Shepherd's Bush the Project B stitches, B-E-E, and here's my finish of that. And what a fun project. Like I said, lots of specialty stitches on a Jeannette Douglas pattern. And so for this birthday, I'm doing a companion piece to that, Vintage Stitches, which is all about grapes and stuff. So a totally different color palette, really, really fun. I actually haven't tracked down all of the specialty threads that I need for that yet. We're going to talk about that as I get into that. So let's go ahead and look at my 2 new starts. Here is my start on Jane Fiddes from Hands Across the Sea. This pattern is just so cool. There's so much going on in this design. It's going to be like a little feast for my cross-stitchy heart. So, as you can see, I started in the top left like I usually do. And so I usually get in a little bit of border and then I work around the border that I did. And then I do a little bit more border and then I work around what I did. Obviously I carried this across to use up the whole strand of thread there. And then once I got down to here, I knew I wanted to get in some of this really cool lettering. So that is cross stitch inside, and then this is a double back stitch around it, which just means that you do like half of it and you go all the way around, and then you fill in the other half when you go around again. So like I said, like a whole rainbow of colors here in her alphabet, and just super, super fun to stitch on. So this is using 1 strand of these Vicky Clayton silks, and they are just delightful. And this is a piece of 40 count that I dyed, and so I'm doing 1/2. There, I pushed in a little bit more so you can see. But if you are on the fence about starting this one, just start it. Start it with me. It's so fun. Super, super fun. So, in any case, this is going on my wheel, and we will see when this one comes out again. This is my birthday start, so my second new start from the last 2 weeks. This is Vintage Stitches by Jeannette Douglas. And so this is what I did so far. In her pattern, she has a suggested order that you stitch. And so she suggested that I start in the middle. And she might have also suggested that order with the B stitches, but I just decided to start in the top right with that project. Anyway, I decided to follow her suggestion this time. And that meant starting with all over 1. So let me pull in a little bit. So I got to kick this project off with a whole bunch of little teeny tiny stitching. However, it was not as teeny tiny as it could have been because I chose a 28 count fabric for this. So I didn't want it to be too small. This is going to be a little bigger than my B stitches because I think I was stitching that on 32 count affogato. Might have been 36 though. There was some over 1 in that project, and I decided I didn't want to dislike it quite as much, so I brought my project size a little bigger. So this really yummy floss here for the grapes is the same as this one going on this border here. There's actually a border that goes in between here that I haven't stitched yet because it uses a lorikeet 9-strand wool. Here's an example of one of the other colors required. This is actually a Gloriana floss, and I can't find the other color. So I want to ask you guys what you think I should do. Should I continue to search for it and just stitch on without putting it in? Or should I just I have a couple options. Here's the only 2 of the 9-strand wool that I could find, so they're used in other places in the pattern. And so I could just use one of them to do there's actually a whole bunch of stuff that goes in here. There's the border I'm talking about goes directly around here, and then there's a whole bunch more stitching in here. So I kind of want that border in to be able to base everything else around. So I believe the coloration of it is supposed to be very similar to this floss, which is the one I've been using for this and this, which is also a Gloriana, but it's a silk floss. So I could use this to put in the border. I could use this to put in the border. It'll change the look of the pattern. I could just use another floss entirely. Like this NPI looks somewhat similar to how the picture looks. It looks like it's mostly a light purple. So what do you guys think? Should I continue looking for a really old floss that might be discontinued everywhere? Should I just improvise and put something else in? Let me know what you think. One other thing to note, I'm not really looking forward to stitching with this. This feels like it's going to be impossible to pull through this fabric, which is a 28 count Lugana that I overdyed. This is actually the piece of fabric that I started Tisket a Tasket on over one, and I just was not having fun doing the whole thing over one. So you're supposed to just use one whole strand of this wool floss, and I'm thinking that this 28 count was a mistake for that. The suggested is 32 count vintage exemplar by Lakeside. So it would be larger holes. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. So anyway, here's the progress that I got. So since I'm doing it on 28 count, I will be doing 1/2 for most of it. This is this really cool, it's a ray stitch, and it's just using one strand. And yeah. So anyway, I think I worked on this for 2 or 3 days. And so it's going to go in my whip rotation in my wheel. Actually, I think I might be trying to stitch on this every 7th of the month for a few months and see how that goes. So, all right, that was my second start. All right, so those are my new starts. Now I'm going to share with you the WIPs that I had in the last 2 weeks. So the projects that I worked on that I had already started previously, they may have had 2 or 3 sessions, 4, 5, 6 sessions, but I'm going to show you the progress that I got on those in the last couple weeks. So let's take a look. Here's my next WIP. This is Salute to Abigail from Blackbird Design. I feel like, did I get a ton done on this? I feel like I might have, because I don't remember that I turned the corner last time. So I got the border all the way across, turned the corner, and finished this lettering in over here. I think I just put in a little bit more of the stars there. I think I was putting in some of this. But I think this time was mostly about getting over to the full width of this project, which this is not that big, so I like that. And then bringing it down. So, yeah. I love this pattern. I know a lot of people are stitching it, which is exciting. And it comes from the wonderful book Sweet Land of Liberty, and which has so many great projects in there. So this is my 4th of the month stitching. I stitch on this every 4th, so that's why it's continuing to get some great progress. This is stitched 1/2 on, this is a piece that I hand dyed, I believe, and I did a conversion for the flosses, which I've shown in like every other video that I've talked about this, so I won't grab them out right now, but if you're dying to know, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I think that's it. So this is a really kind of wild piece of fabric, browns and kind of turquoise color. And so that's how it's looking so far. So what do you think? I have about halfway done? I think so. Maybe a little bit more. The next project that I worked on is the one that the wheel chose for me, and this is Pumpkin House from Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. This is chart 1 of 9 in the House on Pumpkin Lane series, and I love it so much. Oh, I have a hanging thread. Yeah, I just love this thing. This isn't gonna go out much farther, like this much farther, I think. This is stitched 1/2 on a piece of 40 count that I dyed. It kind of has some big modeling around parts, and I'm planning on stitching all of the houses together. So we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to be fun. Okay, so the thing about Pansy Patch, she has become one of my favorite designers because I think I mentioned this in the last time I talked about this project, but her designs are similar to Blackbird to me. They feel very similar, but she's not quite as prim, so it fits in that really sweet spot for me. So we're still keeping it kind of prim, but the colors are livened up just a little bit. I love stitching on her patterns. Also, I should mention though, this is a color conversion. There's maybe like 3 or 4 flosses that were recommended, but I kitted this up from Stash. So I just, oh, isn't that yummy? Oh, that is just fall. Just right there. Fall. So anyway, I'm really loving this. I think I stitched on this for maybe 2 days, and I just had such a great time. So highly, highly recommend. She has a lot of great patterns already. I think she's a newer designer, and she has a bunch of new stuff coming out for Marketplace, which is an online event happening this month. I don't know that I have like all my details straight, but it's similar to Nashville Needlework Market, which takes place in the spring, which is an in-person place where designers bring all their designs to the shops and the shops can purchase them. And this one's online, so the designers go and they list all their items, and then the shops can purchase from them. So a bunch of new content coming out is what I'm saying from our favorite designers. So I think that's it for this one. All right, the other project that we chose randomly together on the last video was this Summertime from Primrose Cottage. This has actually come out a lot, I feel like, in the last few months, and so I have a lot of progress on it. I remember from Mania 2022, the only thing I got done was this word days, and then it didn't come out for like at all that rest of that year. And then in 23, I've been pulling this out quite a bit because of, you know, just letting fate decide, and you know, I'm supposed to be stitching on this apparently. Anyway, this was super fun that this kept coming out in summer because it is such a fun summery pattern. I love that it's just a pattern full of fonts. All these cute designs, super bright, fun colors. So this is stitched on a piece of 28 count Lugana, not dyed at all, so that it can be a nice blank canvas for all these bright colors. And gosh, I don't know exactly what I got done this time. I'll pop up a picture so you can see, but I feel like I got a lot done this time. So yeah, this is how this is going. This is also a partially converted floss pattern. I threw a few of flosses that I dyed myself, like this lighter yellow. The darker yellow is a Bee Stitch Me Silk. This darker green, I think, is a Bee Stitch Me Silk. This brown is Sarsaparilla by Gentle Arts, I think. So there's like a few things sprinkled in. So yeah, I think that's it. This is 2 over 2 on this pattern. I believe that this is how tall it's going to be, and then it's going to come down maybe a tiny bit longer here. So I've gotten to the height of it, and then definitely this is the width of it. So we're getting pretty filled out here. Okay, my next whip was my anniversary stitch. I pulled this out on the 10th, and I didn't do too much on that day. I focused on finishing the top of this volcano, getting the volcano in. I got a little bit more of the cloud portion in here. And then I put in a few strands when I had like leftover floss from filling out this volcano. I didn't do a ton, like I said. This is stitched on a piece of printed Ada. I think this is just a 14 count that I got at the craft store. It's this beautiful blue modeling, and I'm using all the called for DMC. I'm going to come in here a little bit. One of the things I like so much about Satsuma's charts like this is they tell you what landmarks you're looking at in the location. So she has, or they have, a bunch of these, as you will see later coming up in my haul. As just little, I'm taking them to be as little memories of places that I've been that I want to remember the journey. So it's really fun because it says on there what you're looking at. So these are going to be little tiki men. I think this is a hut. So I really love this design. I don't yearn to stitch on it as much as some other things, even though the colors are really, really fun. It's just, it's too strand stitching, which is just not really my preference anymore, but I still do like it. And I'm thinking that when I start another project in this style from Satsuma, I will probably do 2-strand stitching again because I want them all to look the same. But anyway, this comes out on the 10th of every month. So this is actually the most recent thing I've stitched on, but I think it was the first thing I stitched on after last video, or one of the very first, because I stitched on this on the 31st of the month and the 13th of the month, because I pull this out on the days of the month that make me think of Halloween. So this is a PDF download from Witchy Stitcher. If this vibe, if this style is beautiful to you as it is to me, I just love the gothic font and just the whole appearance of it. Even though it's cutesy and uses 2 strands, and it's on Ada, I still really like it. I don't like it as much as some other stitching, but I'm really having fun with it. So I think I started like this and I went across, and then it had you go here, here, and then last time I put in, I think I had done the whole border of the ogre. Let me push in. And so I think on the 31st I put this whole guy in there. And so he's all done. He has all the back stitching done and everything. And then on the 13th stitching, oh, actually when I finished the ogre, then I came in and I started working on the border of the Striga. I don't know. Striga. That sounds like how it should go. And so she needs her fangs put in, and there's some back stitching on the bone, but that's it. She's done besides that. And actually I'm not even sure what goes here. But isn't she cute? Look at her cauldron, and that spider was so fun. And I love her decorative bordering. So fun. So anyway, she's so cute, and look at her big hands too. Go lady. So that's the progress that I've gotten on my Witchy Stitcher Sal. And so if this border is going to be filled out, I still have quite a bit to go. I have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 8 more. And this is a piece of 14 count that I over dyed to look kind of like roasted marshmallow jelly beans. And I love it. It was perfect for this. So you need a lot of DMC 310 if you're doing this pattern. A lot. And yeah, I think that's it. That's my final whip. Now is as good a time as any to announce the giveaway winner from last video. Actually, if you have won in the last 2 videos and you haven't messaged me or I haven't responded to your email, please try again. You may have gotten the email wrong, or maybe you went to junk. I've been looking through my junk folder and everything trying to find those winners because I really want to send you your prize. So if you were a previous winner and you haven't received it from me, please contact me again. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this week's winner and then the new project that I have to give away. So here is the giveaway for this week, but before we give this pattern away, I want to share who was the winner of the Babushka's Bees from last time. And the winner is right here up on your screen. And this is Storm Stitches. And she said, great trip photos. That's referring to the fact that I shared photos from my trip to London and Paris in my last video. If you want to go see some of our adventures, then just watch the video right before this one. So congrats, Storm Stitches. Please email me at moonshinemanicontact. I'm putting all this info up here. moonshinemanicontact@gmail.com to claim your prize, and I will send it to you. So this is the giveaway for this week. I do not have a duplicate purchased of this. I just don't think I'm gonna stitch it, and I want to send it to one of you. It's really cute, and it also has the little embellishments in there. It looks like, I haven't opened it, but it looks like it's this little wreath right here, and then there's a button there and a button there. So if you would like to enter to win this prize, please leave a comment. This project is called Birdie Holiday, so let's have the word holiday in your comment today. You'll be entered to win this project. I will ship anywhere internationally as well, and then just stop back in for the next video to see if you were the winner of this project. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and get into haul. So I did go to Shepherd's Bush on my birthday. We went to Lagoon, which is an amusement park up in Ogden, Utah, and it's pretty close. It's like 20 minutes away from Shepherd's Bush, so I got my kids lunch and they sat in the car and ate their food while I went in and shopped and just had a great time. So I picked up some things from there. I also have some stuff from online shopping. My friend Heidi, whose Flosstube channel is WIPS and Kits, definitely go check her out. Whenever you hear about me talking about my friend Heidi, I'm talking about her. She lives in Wisconsin. She lives really close to Lynn's of Madison, and whenever she goes to Lynn's of Madison, lots of times she does some personal shopping for me, so I have some patterns to share with you from that haul as well. I also have a couple of, I have a couple of digital downloads. So oh, I also have a gift to share with you. A friend gifted me a pattern, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into haul. Alright, so we're going to get into this haul. Keep in mind that I don't usually have this much haul to share with you, but it was my birthday over the last 2 weeks, so alright. I mentioned that my friend Heidi lives near Lynn's of Madison. She has a Flosstube channel. It's called WIPS and Kits. You should definitely go check it out. She did a whip parade for her second video. I will link that in the description bar below. So when she was there, she was looking through the 50% off bin, and she picked me up a few things. So I have a major love of GGR, so I have quite a few projects from her that I haven't started, but I do have 2, I think, that I have started. Anyway, so this is Eleonora Koski, I'm not sure. Then we also have Mary Hart from GGR. One more GGR. This is Marie Honorat, 1820. 10 years old. 10 years old. She also got this design from Brenda Key's sampler company for me. This one's called the Plant Wisdom Sampler. Needlework press, so beautiful. This says it's a Canadian sampler, Catherine Isabella Solis. This really cool pattern from Papillon Creations, Birds of a Feather. Alright, the rest of the stuff is are things that I picked up myself. So, everything cross stitch was having a Plum Street sale. So I snagged Jack's Bash. I saw on So Tattered, that's a new to me Flosstube. So you should definitely go check her out, especially if you have the cross interests of quilting and cross stitch. But she's starting Jack's Bash with Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, who's another channel that I love. And so I just decided to grab this because I've been seeing them talking about it. That's from Plum Street. Did I say that? You all know that. Then I got a Harvest Keeper. I kind of collect Plum Street. My friend Heidi's going to the retreat at the attic in November. She got in. She's so lucky, and both Paulette from Plum Street and Barb from Blackbird are going to be there. Oh, so good. Isn't that cute? Berry Cottage. Friends of the Heart. I saw somebody finish this. Somebody has this finished. Someone on Instagram that I'm following. And I saw their finish and loved it, so I grabbed it. Okay, I got this pattern at home from Shakespeare's Peddler. This is a With Thy Needle and Thread pattern. It's just adorable. So, so cute. And I had gotten an email from her. I'm on her email list, and she had these grab bags of JU Design hand-dyed cotton threads. And so I was like, yeah, I would love to try another person's cotton dyeing. So it's a great grab bag because it's all colors that are like always called for and stuff. Is some nice great reds, some awesome greens, and then some light beige colors. So those will be really fun to throw into projects. Speaking of floss, I also got my July Silk of the Month from Stitch Me. And so we got very patriotic colors this time. I think all of the next things are charts that I purchased at Shepherd's Bush. I went on my birthday. So we have Christmas Cheer, which has 6 little pin cushions. I got 3 more charts from Pansy Patch, Quilts, and Stitchery. Butternut House is the Squatternut Bosch. It's a little yellow house. So cute. So that's chart 5 of 9 in the series that I already started. This one is chart 2, so this one will be the one that I start next, Chrysanthemum House. And then I also grabbed Summer Garden at Cranberry Manor. This one is a little bit bigger than her smalls in the Pumpkin Lane series. That one's going to be 118 by 108, and these ones, the smaller ones, are 97 by 87, so it's just a tiny bit bigger. I picked up this one. I love Satsuma Street. I'm gonna try one of her patterns or their patterns, not using 2/2, and see if I love it even more. I don't have any immediate plans to stitch this, but this is Invierno. I got a couple of Chessie and Me patterns. This one is called Hand of Friendship Sampler. This one is called Over the River. Oh, it's so cute. Sorry, there we go. Then I picked up this one from the Stitching Parlor. This is a little sampler inspired by Sense and Sensibility. She has like a whole series of Jane Austen inspired samplers or designs. I have a few of them. And so this is the 2 sisters, the 2 older sisters from Sense and Sensibility. It's so cute. All right, this is a nice, lovely, lovely lady from Annie B's. Oh, look how fun this is going to be to stitch. So many fun colors. It looks big too. It's 241 by 201. And this is stitched using NPIs and Gloriana, but there's also a DMC conversion chart. Speaking of Jane Austen, I found this other, so Shepherd's Bush has like a section of Jane Austen inspired patterns. So I found this one from a designer I haven't tried yet, River Drift House. Look how packed this is, and that's all supposed to be Jane Austen stuff. Oh, so cute. Speaking of Olivia, she has been showing this a lot lately because she's stitching it with some friends. This is the Spooky Countdown from the Primitive Hair. She is so close to being done, and in fact, I don't know if I watched her most recent video. She might be totally done. This is so cute. She looks like she's probably stitching it on the called for fabric or something very similar. I'm going to dye something to be similar to that because actually I think the called for is a 30 count primitive hair, and I already have a primitive hair started on the called for fabric, and it's just so large, the 30 count, that it's not that enjoyable for me to do over two. Yeah, the called for is Old Salem linen. So anyway, I think you guys know I have that Tiny Modernist calendar countdown to Halloween, and I just am not really feeling drawn to stitching that. And every time I see her stitching on this, I'm like, oh, that's the Halloween calendar I want to do. So I think the next time that one's called, I'm going to stitch on it. And I'm going to stitch on this instead of that. I think I might put that project in timeout. Or maybe I'll just start this week. Maybe this one's on my possible new starts. It only has 7 flosses. A black, 2 grays, a mahogany white, a gold, and a khaki green. And they're all DMC. Oh, okay. I think I might end up starting this week. Oh, I did not get from Shepherd's Bush. I think I picked this up from Colorado Cross Stitch when I was grabbing a piece of linen and maybe a few flosses. I can't remember, coming to my garden. I either saw somebody stitching this on Flosstube or Instagram, and I thought, oh my goodness, look how fun. And if you love pink, there's a lot of pink in here. So I have a couple of digital downloads that I purchased. I grabbed these 2 patterns from Satsuma Street. They actually came as a pair, which was convenient. Maybe a lot of people go to London and Paris at the same time. So I grabbed both of them. They're neither of them as exciting and fun looking as the Hawaii one, but I have them so that I can start them if I want to after I'm done with Hawaii. They're very reasonably priced. And so I will put that in the description bar along with everything else. And then I got this pattern from Stitch Rovia, and this was a gift for my birthday from my friend Kayla. She sent me this adorable pattern. How cute is that? And so sweet and thoughtful. I wasn't expecting gifts from my family for my birthday because we went to London and Paris, which was quite expensive. But they did ask me if I wanted anything, and I was like, just give me a gift card to a stitchy shop. They ended up getting me some piano books and a game instead, but you know, spending some money on stitchy stash is always fun. So, alright, so that was my projects and my haul, and now we're going to talk about plans. So what am I going to be doing in the next few weeks? So you guys know that I do have days of the month that I stitch specific things on. So like on the 4th of the month, I stitch patriotic. On the 10th of the month, I stitch my anniversary piece. I think I'm going to start on the 7th of the month stitching my birthday piece. That makes a lot of specific stitching that week, but that's okay. On the 13th of the month, I do Halloween stitching. I refer to that in another video as dark stitching. If you're the person that asked me what is dark stitching, some people call it Halloween stitching, some people call it dark stitching. Basically, if you're stitching a specifically like Halloween piece on the 13th or the 31st of the month, that's what I meant by that. So I do have that stitching on a specific day, and then on the 25th of the month I specifically stitch Christmas, and then the 31st if there's a 31st of the month. So in the next 2 weeks, the only one of those that's going to fall on a day is going to be the 25th, so you'll see Christmas stitching for me in the next video. Besides that, I always draw 2 random projects with you. I draw one project from my entire WIP project list, and then I draw a project from my Mania 2023 list. So one is quite a bit smaller. The big one also includes my Mania pieces too. And that's how I kind of keep cycling through those and making sure that I touch stuff. And it's a non-repeating, the big wheel one is a non-repeating wheel randomizer. So I should hopefully touch everything this year. Anyway, I've put my 2 new projects on there, so I we'll pick from there. Probably have a new start as well. I think I really want to start Nevermore by Lehi Stitches. I got a bunch of flosses for that. You guys know I like to actually kit up from stash because I have now a lot of flosses that I've dyed, but a lot from indie dyers as well that I like to make sure that I use in my kit ups. But I think I really want to start that. That looks really fun. So maybe I'll start that one. We'll have to see. Anyway, so those are my tentative plans, and I'm going to draw those random projects with you right now. The time has come to pick a random project. On my nails today, if you've been wondering, this is a new polish coming out for our Halloween collection in September. And I have a collection coming that is inspired by Final Girls from scary movies. So it's going to be really fun. Okay. Let me find my random generator. So these are all of my Mania projects from 2023. Some are carried over from 2022. If it has a dot by it, it means it's done. So if I roll that or spin that, I will pick a different project. So here's my random generator. I've got my 23 projects in there. Number 2. Well, how convenient. Halloween this way from the Primitive Hair. So that's going to be great. Perfect stitching for this week. That project has like a lot of fill-in. I'm going to pop up on the screen so you remember. So you kind of can like do the outline of the sign, put the words in, and then you just sit there and fill in. So I'm stitching that one with the called for DMC, and it's on the called for 30 count fabric like we were just talking about. So that will be super great. The next project that we're going to draw together is from my Tiny Decisions wheel, and this has all of my projects, and it's non-repeating, so it's blacked out where the projects are that I have drawn before. So let's give it a spin. Strawberry Fields Forever! How fun! I have only stitched on this one time, I think. Maybe 2. It's the Blackbird designs. I'll put up on the screen so you can remember. And I love me some Blackbird, so this is very, very exciting. I think I'm stitching this on Country Mocha. I think it's an Ada. And this might be 2/2. Anyway, yay, we're going to get some progress on this. All right, well, that's going to be it for this Flosstube. That's all the content that I have to share with you. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me while you were stitching or getting a little bit of your chores done. I hope you have the best couple of stitchy weeks ever. My kids are starting school this week. It means I'm going to be able to get a little bit more work done, which is fantastic. But maybe that also means a little bit more stitching time. We'll see. I appreciate you joining me for this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed hanging out with me. And in the comments below, don't forget to enter the giveaway. And I will see you back for another video in 2 weeks. Take care. Bye.